let's talk about this Trump rally in Wisconsin. Juneau, Wisconsin. I want to start with a moment where Trump gets irritated at his handlers, the people who were doing the tech stuff at his rally, for putting up the wrong photo or video.
And we have something to show you the kind of crowd we had last night. It was really something special. So let's put it up if we can. That's the wrong picture. That was unbelievable. They used the wrong picture. It's the same picture, but they had the two side things. It's so stupid. But that's what we have that every once in a while, right?
It's so stupid. Very strange. And this is something he's been doing at his rallies lately, which is showing videos of other rallies and getting the crowd that's there to cheer for how big the crowd was cheering for him at a different rally, which I find a little bizarre, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. And then he says something pretty ominous.
Is there anybody here that's going to vote for Lion Kamala? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Actually, I should say don't raise your hand. It would be very dangerous. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Please don't raise your hand.
Isn't it interesting that when we point to studies on political violence and say it's just factually true that in the United States, there's a far bigger problem with right-wing ideologies motivating political violence than left-wing ideologies? Again, just as a matter of the stats. And they'll scream, no, it's Antifa. The right is never violent. It's only Antifa. And then here, Trump actually is aware enough of the likelihood of violence among his followers if they were to encounter a Kamala Harris supporter. And actually, I'd invite Trump supporters to go, not to heckle, but go to a Kamala Harris rally to listen and see if some of the things she's saying resonate with you. And I say the same, but he's probably correct. Don't identify yourself as such. Go to a Trump rally. As Kamala Harris said, you'll realize this guy does not have it together. And then if you go to her rallies, you'll probably, MAGA, realize a lot of the things that you've been hearing about her. We just covered John Vought saying that I guess the premise of her campaign is to turn your children into non-binaries, quote unquote. You might learn that there's substantive stuff that you really like that she's proposing, but who knows? And then this kind of confusing phrasing.
Why didn't you do it again 4 years ago? Why didn't you do it again? My theme with her is, why didn't you do it again? But why didn't you do it then? Why didn't you do it?
Okay. So I guess he's saying because his current slogan is Make America Great Again, then his slogan for Kamala Harris is why didn't you do it 4 years ago again? You get it. But 4 years ago, if you chart, well, first of all, 4 years ago, Trump was president. But second of all, if you chart the course from 4 years ago, and then a little bit ahead of that, from when Biden Harris came into office to now, it's actually been a record of quite a lot of successes. And so then you want to keep building on those. Some things have gotten done, strong economic recovery, crimes come down, a lot of legislative victories, and then Vice President Harris has new ideas to add on top of that, a perfectly acceptable way to campaign for president when you're the vice president, I think, than this.
A coal plant a week. I don't like flies. Get out of here, fly. Never been a big fan of flies. You don't mind my bringing that up, do you? Anyway, this is a very aggressive sucker. This one. This one in particular is very aggressive. Like, I'm going to be aggressive for our country. You can probably say that.
Epic transition there. Okay. Then he talks about Elon Musk's Starlink. Doesn't seem to know what it is, though.
But they want Starlink. So I said, whatever it is, let's sell. I called Elon. I say, and you can't get it. It's really popular. It's very hard to get. But they need it, and they need big doses of it, like fast. And I'm calling Elon. I said, Elon, in North Carolina and parts of Georgia, and the governor is doing a very good job, by the way.
Big doses of Starlink.
Georgia, I have to say. A very good job. But in parts of Georgia, and in real big parts of North Carolina, they need something called Starlink. I don't know what the hell it is, and you don't have to tell me because I don't want to waste a lot of time. But would you be able...
I don't know why Trump brings up things so often that he doesn't know anything about. It's not a good look. We don't want someone who just doesn't know about things. But whether it's Starlink or him talking about cryptocurrency, he'll proactively bring something up that will make him seem wildly uneducated about the very subject he brought up. Then, as we discussed, Kamala Harris is doing her 60 Minutes interview. I think it's coming out tonight. But Trump backed out of it. And so he's been obsessively saying, well, the reason that I backed out of it is because I need an apology for the way that the last one went.
Kamala has proven that she cannot be trusted and she can't do the job. First of all, she's grown.
Oh, many of you are probably wondering. Well, two quick things before going further. Number one, do please click that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Trying to remember to do that in every segment until we get to 1 million. And then the second thing is, I forgot to acknowledge this, so you've probably been pretty confused. Trump is having the camera shot on the side. I know, since I forgot to mention that, this has been very confusing for you, seeing him from the side this whole time. The reason for that is the bulletproof glass in the front had this huge glare, so apparently Right Side Broadcasting chose the side angle.
Grossly incompetent. I don't care. She doesn't do interviews. They said, why doesn't she do? Because she isn't. She can't answer the question. She can't answer anything. And I don't know, they want to do 60 Minutes. Remember I had it out with them last time because they had the laptop from hell and they said it was from Russia. I said, no, it was from Hunter. I turned out to be right. Remember Leslie Stahl? She's another real heavyweight. Leslie Stahl, we got into like an argument on 60 Minutes.
A heavyweight? Doesn't he usually say lightweight? What a weird thing to say. She's a heavyweight. Sheesh.
A real heavyweight. Leslie Stahl, we got into like an argument on 60 Minutes, and I turned out to be right. But to the best of my knowledge, I have not received an apology. That was a big deal at the time. She said, how dare you? You shouldn't say that. This was from Russia.
I don't even... Maybe that happened. The notable moment that caused a spiral was actually him saying that Biden's in the middle of a big scandal because not Biden, but Obama, Democrats were caught spying on Trump's campaign. And that's what Leslie Stahl said. I'm sorry, I can't let you continue on without fact checking that. And imagine having a cult-like dedication to a man you perceive to be this strong man who's so sensitive that 4+ years ago, right? An interview didn't go well for him and he's still saying he wants an apology for it. Yikes. Then he makes this false claim again.
The market goes up every time I get a good poll number, and we have had great ones now. The market's starting to go, and they get the credit for it. Isn't that a terrible thing? I said, do me a favor, just sort of, every time we have some of the biggest analysts, the best analysts in the world. They're saying every time Trump has good publicity, the market goes up.
No, that's just not at all true. Some days when Trump has gotten good news, the market's been going up because the market's been going up so much under Biden Harris that a lot of days that's happening. And then some of the most, I should say, some of the best days politically for Vice President Harris, when her polls have shot up, have synced with great stock market days, not because they're linked, but because that's not the thing that's driving the stock market performance, as shown by constant contradictions with what Trump is saying. And no, Trump is not getting his best poll numbers right now. I do not know where he's getting that from. I think he's just trying to wish it into existence. And then he is still still complaining about that small rally in Wisconsin.
A week ago, I was in the beautiful town of Prairie du Chien. Have you heard of it? Prairie du Chien. In western Wisconsin, where, by the way, we had 60,000 people show up.
It was 50,000 when he originally told the story. In reality, it probably wasn't even 1,000 waiting outside.
That's the good news. But Biden, Sleepy Joe, didn't give us the number of people required, so we ended up speaking in front of us.
Yeah, so he's been blaming baselessly Biden for this. It's all very, very, very weird. Because he's saying Secret Service had to have an indoor rally, and that was because Biden. It's been over a week now. Stop bringing this up. Stop it. You had a small event. Fine. You had a massive event in Butler. We saw it here in Juneau. Big crowd. What is this weird obsession? And you just keep bringing emphasis to the small rallies. You still have big rallies sometimes. Great job. Kudos. And then sometimes, more often than it used to, you are having smaller showings. Okay. You're just setting us up to make fun of you for this. Stop it. Or keep doing it, actually, because it's kind of fun. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show by clicking that join button below.